The sexy liberal herself, Stephanie Miller, the host of the Stephanie Miller Show. StephanieMiller.com is her website, and she has a new book that is about to come out. It's available for pre-order over at Amazon, called Sexy Liberal of Me, I Sing. Hey, Stephanie.
Hi, Tom. I've missed you so much since the TV show last night.
Yeah, it's great to see you again. Thank you for joining us. Just a record number of Americans are now calling themselves liberals. Why do you think that is?
Because of Sexy Liberal. I'm going to take full credit for that. And obviously, that includes you as the original Sexy Liberal. I think oddly, because God is a liberal and a comedian and has given us Donald Trump today and made Sexy Liberal the #1 book on Amazon, I think it is, it is the point that you and I have always been making, Tom, that these polls are no surprise to us. The American people largely agree with us on most of the major issues. And, so that poll is showing that the country and Hillary is moving left. And, our friend Bernie Sanders, as we've talked about, that has something to do with it, because I think that, he's certainly not fringe. His ideas are very mainstream ideas. Donald Trump is a doofus.
Yeah. or something else that you can't see on. Did I ever tell you the story of when Louise walked up to Donald Trump at the correspondence dinner?
No.
Oh, it was hysterical. We were in the Washington Post party room before the speech, and Louise and I were standing there, and Donald Trump makes a grand entrance with his latest trophy wife and his two big burly security guards. And Louise just walks right up to him, stands about, a foot and a half away from him, looking at his face and his head. He's looking at her like, what's going on? And one of the security guys is starting to twitch. And then she just turns around, and there's like maybe 20 people in kind of a circle around us looking at this. And then she turns around and says to me in a very loud voice, "Bad plugs."
Louise.
He turned bright red, turned around and walked out of the room. It was amazing.
Yeah. You know what? The comedy gods were not good enough to us that he could have made his announcement in the wind today.
Yeah.
That there'll be a lot of campaign stops in the wind.
Yeah, there you go. So one of the things you talk about in your book is how you were raised by Republicans. Your dad was, Bill Miller. I campaigned for when I was 13 years old, 1964, as Barry Goldwater's running mate. So
it was probably less of a landslide because of you, Tom.
No doubt. The maybe 50 or 60 doors that I knocked on.
Thank you.
So tell us, how did you, coming from a Republican family, become a liberal?
And Hillary Clinton, a Goldwater girl, too, as you know.
Yep.
So my excuse is I was only 3. So but I hadn't said anything yet, hardly, Tom, so they can't blame me for the landslide. But, it's this conversation that we've had over and over again that, this latest poll just confirms not that the country's even just gotten more liberal, but that this version of the Republican Party has gone off the rails to the right. Yeah. This is not my dad or Goldwater's party anymore. I mean, this is, as we've said many times, Barry Goldwater would be a crazy liberal. He'd be a socialist in today's Republican Party. Yeah. You look at all these, I don't know if we talked about this yesterday, but all these egregious abortion bills in state after state. First of all, what happened to the party of small government? And secondly, Barry Goldwater was incredibly pro-choice on the Senate floor in the 80s.
Right.
Pro-gay rights, has a gay grandson, on and on.
Yeah, he said you don't have to be straight to shoot straight.
Yeah,
he was in favor of gays in the military.
Yeah,
I mean that was my dad's Republican Party, and I remember it, and I mourn the loss of it because it seems like the Fox News has totally killed it. By the way, speaking of Fox News, I understand in your book you tell us the story of your mom's bird and Fox News. What's this?
Well, Tom, you nasty little man, you want to hear about the masturbating bird. I see how you seem all professorial and intellectual, but you want to know about my mom's bird that masturbates to Fox News.
Yes.
Yes. Well, it is something that you cannot unsee, Mr. Hartman. It is an image that will be seared in my brain because I thought she was kidding until I actually saw it. But he has this, little colorful chain, and I don't ask me just something about them going on a rant about the Kenyan socialist in the White House makes him just very excited. It's very disturbing. Yeah. It's just very disturbing.
I wonder if all over America there are birds sitting in bird cages. You know, these people in their 70s and 80s who are watching Fox News, and the birds are going, oh.
Yes, having little birdgasms nationwide.
Yes, birdgasms. Yes. Everything except the pigeons. They, of course, because they're robots, but that's a whole nother issue. Speaking of Fox News, in the last minute we've got here, they're making an effort to make conservatives seem sexy. It seems like, you know, if you look at the kind of people they hire and the way that they present them and how much leg they show and whatnot. Do you think it's working, and does it match up with reality? And do you have advice for liberals in this election season to beef up their sexy factor?
Thom Hartmann in a thong. How many times can I say it, Tom? Okay. Let's go. Do you
that
love
ain't happening.
America or not? You know, I think this is what we always said, Tom. It was a joke when we called it sexy liberal. We weren't talking about us. We were talking about you, about the audience. We were saying we think it's sexy to be liberal. It means you're empathetic, you're open-minded, you want to help other people. You know, it's that great John F. Kennedy quote about what it means to be a liberal, right?
Yeah. I will have to play that, in fact, in the next segment, because it is so good. So
you would just have that right at your fingertips, Thom Hartmann, because you're Thom Hartmann.
Yeah, but I don't want to play it over you. So, so Stephanie Miller, her new book out is "Sexy Liberal: Of Me I Sing," and Stephanie, thanks so much for dropping by.
Thanks, Tom. I like it when you're giggly.
Thank you. You make me that way all the time. Stephanie Miller, you're wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you too.
StephanieMiller.com as well.